What's up, everybody? I'm John Maher, just John Maher. I changed my thing. Nobody calls me Calamity John anymore. It's fine. That's Abby Brooks and Aaron Brooks. Guys, we're hitting our stride now. I think this is there's going to be good stuff coming out allegedly for the next few weeks. So I'm kind of happy about this. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah, we're doing good this week.
Yeah, Blumhouse to the rescue here with Drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little movie called Drop.
Can we start over? Somebody keeps sending me these.
You gotta be within 50 feet to send a drop. It's someone in the restaurant. Violet, everything okay?
I'll be right back.
911, what's your emergency?
Hi, my son is being held. What do you want from me? I can't do that. I'll kill you if you hurt my son. When I find out who's threatening my son, I'll show them how dangerous a mother can be. I know it's you. How's this date going? First date jitters.
No, you're killing it.
Okay.
You know, this is the only time I say this sentence, probably in my life. But I kind of love Sabrina Carpenter in that trailer. Montgomery County's own Sabrina Carpenter with nonsense in that trailer. But yeah, it's Drop. And either one of you guys want to do the synopsis? It's pretty straightforward, I would think.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure, I can do this one. It's a pretty simple synopsis. A single mother, she's going out on a first date in like a really long time. She has a son, and then her sister's watching the son at home, and then she goes on this date and she starts getting mysterious like airdrop memes and messages about somebody basically wanting to take her date out. And so it's kind of just a mystery of like who's sending her these messages. How is she going to get out of it? How is she going to save her son? All of that kind of stuff. So pretty simple synopsis, I think.
Yeah. Aaron, your initial thoughts on Drop?
Yeah, it's a good time, like most Christopher Landon, like thriller, like is it horror kind of ish movies, and like I just think it goes in with the idea, or it's aware that its audience is like suspicious going in, so it's not gonna like avoid being suspicious from the beginning and throwing a lot of red herrings and things like that. And that's just kind of part of the experience of it. So it's kind of patient with like unveiling some parts of its hand. But yeah, it's a good time overall. Like I think the setting of the restaurant was really well done, and like as well as all the characters within the restaurant to different varying degrees of mileage. I think like the bartender was great. The waiter, I should say, was not my favorite part of the movie. But overall, it's a good time. Yeah, so she gets a little crazy by the end.
Yeah, and I'll say this, no shade, just a joke that needs to be made in this community. I think most women going on a blind date or a semi-blind date with a man named Henry in Chicago should be suspicious. But this movie does wonders for men named Henry in Chicago. So Henry, this one's for you. We sort of miss you. Come back. All right. Yeah, I had a good time with this movie, and I think I would even say, I'm going to go so far as to say, given the majority of Christopher Landon's body of work leading up to this is like a maturing for Christopher Landon, because this is not Freaky. This is not Happy Death Day. This is like a movie for like adults, I'd say.
Yeah, Kinda, and then the end happens.
That's
I think
true.
there's still like fun to be had in this movie. I agree. It's not like a comedy, like horror comedy. There's like little comedy bits in it. Again, like the waiter that we talked about that didn't always work. But compared to those other two movies, I would say that this one's like a little bit more serious than.
It's more patient with like unveiling of things too, which I guess.
And I'm here for Megan Fahey too. You know, my last exposure to her was as the mother in The Unbreakable Boy, so I was ready to write her off forever. But she saves her career with Drop. So yeah, I think she was really really good in this movie. I you know, if she's exact. I mean, I buy her as this like widow abuse like survivor of like a totally like borderline husband, like the flashback scenes. And I think I will throw up, even though I'm not really giving away too much of the plot, it's spoilers time. Like, she's a widow and her husband is like fucking crazy, like it like Axis 2 for my psychologists out there. Axis 2 nutbag husband. The flashbacks are like genuinely probably terrifying to women who have been in abusive relationships, because those scenes are pretty fucked up actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at first I thought they were going to do with the flashback scene. So when the movie starts, it starts with a flashback scene, and at first I was like, wait a minute, are they doing the thing where they're showing the very end of the movie and it's like, how did we get here kind of thing? They didn't do that. It was just a flashback. At first I couldn't tell the difference between the husband and the guy that she's going on the date with. But again, rest assured, it's not that trope that we dislike so much.
Yeah. And I'd say like the fact that this is a Blumhouse film fills me with dread and going because I find like every single Blumhouse film in the last, like ever since, like, you know, they struck gold with like Get Out, they've all just been like these really simple, like you could just picture a bunch of people around a table, like, what if we do a movie about airdrops? It's like, green light that shit. It's like, wait, we don't even have a script. It's like, fucking green light it. That just seems like the whole Blumhouse process at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But like Christopher Landon crafted something, I'll say special, because like this could have been shit. It really
right. I think it really, when it comes to Blumhouse, I really do think it's the director, honestly, because we saw it even earlier in the year with Wolfman, where that was Blumhouse. And I think if it was any other director besides Lee Winnell, it would have been a disaster. So I think this is a case also where like the director really helped elevate this movie and make it like actually fun. You reviewed this one. Aaron and I just watched it last night. We watched that Woman in the Yard movie. That is an example of where I think the director didn't necessarily help the movie. And that was also a Blumhouse movie too. I think Aaron liked that one a little bit more than me. I didn't really like it that much, but that's just kind of an example of where Blumhouse can go wrong, but then it can also go right.
Yeah, Woman in the Yard to me, there's a special edition on that in this channel. It's like, it's good. It's good. It's not like Nights from Imaginary shit. It's like good. It's good.
Yeah.
Drop is better, I feel, in my
Yeah,
esteemed opinion, better than The Woman in the Yard. And then also there's a lot, like, all the actors in this movie, there's no like A-listers in this movie, but they're all people you recognize. I think the guy that plays Henry, Brandon Sklenar, I saw him last in the Blake Lively, It Ends With Us. He's the good guy, and It Ends With Us. So like all these people coming out of these movies that I didn't particularly love a ton, but then they show up in this movie and they're all awesome. And then Reed Diamond, who I remember from some television shows, is really old now. So that's John Feels Old. I forget what the show. I'll remember the show he was in. I remember him from, but like I like him a lot. He's just looking old, and I'm just saying that to him. He must know he looks old.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Ted Danson.
Yes, he looks like a smaller Ted Danson in this movie now. Yeah, we can get into like the actual meat of the plot now. So yeah, so Violet is on this date with Henry, and like it's not a blind date because they've been like going back and forth on name your app for mature adults, Hinge. I don't know what the fuck they're on. And they finally, after months of planning, they go on this date. And like, she's nervous. She's hasn't dated a man since her fucking lunatic husband like threatens to kill their toddler and then kills himself, which is berserk. So she's, obviously nervous, kind of wants to call it off, but she has a plucky young Gen Z sister, or maybe she's a young millennial. I don't know. But my one thing I'll say, and it's not even a negative, it's just like why didn't she tell her sister, have you fucking looked at yourself before you criticize me once in this movie? But she should have. That would have made this like an even higher rank for me if she told her sister off for like criticizing her. It's like, bitch, I'm the hot one. Fuck you, is what she should have said to her. But she never does that.
Yeah, she's a bigger person.
Yeah, she's a much bigger. She also, like me, is also a psychologist. So like I feel I see myself, a lot of myself in Violet. I would have told my brother to go fuck himself though.
There you go.
Yeah. What else did you guys like from the meat of this movie?
I just liked overall in the restaurant, just kind of once we got like the initial premise like kicked off, just like how it didn't necessarily bother me or feel like they were wasting time with like getting you to try to pay attention to different people in the restaurant and who it could be, because everybody was interesting and well casted. Like if it wasn't well liked, I think the whole experience in that restaurant would have been like a bad first date. Like you would have just been waiting for it to be over. Instead, you were like, okay, wasting a little bit of time, finding out, what's going on, getting misled a little bit, seeing her in a couple awkward situations. She's basically zoning out over and over again. And that does get a little bit repetitive in the middle when she like just keeps apologizing for like not being interested. And he's like, even when he gets like frustrated, like he's not like really frustrated. Like even when he's like calling for the bill, he's just like, "Can we get the bill, please?" Like he's like the best, nicest guy ever. So I don't know if that's a critique or not, but it's just
I feel like it could be a critique because they're both like really attractive people,
right?
And they're both really good people. Like they're like above average in every. They're like nines in every category, which is like which you don't ever see. But like that might
even
be
when it's going wrong, it's going so perfectly wrong. It's just like, oh, we'll just try again another time. Like, which is never something you say if a date is going wrong on a nap. Like you're like, we're done. Like,
and then and Abby mentioned like it skips to the end, like when like the date for all intents and purposes is a fucking horrible date. It ends in a fucking shootout, like 50 stories above the ground, and he takes a fucking bullet on a first date, and he's still like, yeah, I'll go on a second date with you. Why not?
I don't know what sold that, but yeah, like when we get to the reveal. Like I don't know if we want to talk about.
Go ahead, yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, when we get to the reveal, like it's like a government sort of like conspiracy with this photographer having information and whatnot.
It's like the mayor is doing bad things.
Who would believe that the mayor of Chicago is corrupt? Can you find that's such a stretch? Like who would believe that the mayor of Chicago is a corrupt person?
And so this is all like to kill him. So they have the poison that's supposed to go into this drink, and then instead of going to a drink with sleight of hand, because of course she can do that, I guess, she flips it into his panna cotta, and then he just scoofs it on, and he's just eating up his panna cotta, not realizing it's poison panna cotta. Oh no!
The end goes like a little over the top, but like it's Christopher Landon, so like that was kind of like the Christopher Landon signature. It's like now this guy has been poisoned with his own fentanyl, and he's like, "Well, fuck it, let me pull out a gun and just start fucking going berserk in this restaurant." Is that scene where she gets sucked out the window,
right?
It's a great climax, really.
Trailer.
Yeah, that is the climax. Her getting basically Reed Diamond is the bad guy. He's like this fumbling dipshit like Rick Moranis character the entire movie, and then like he's like the handler for the dark mayor of Chicago, and he's trying to kill Henry, who is an FBI informant. It turns out.
Yep.
Weird time to choose to go on a first date when you're like mere hours away from like turning evidence over to the FBI.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever, it's cool. It's cool. I'm gonna suspend disbelief because I like this movie. And then
suspending disbelief with the end of this movie.
And then Reed Diamond becomes Tom Cruise's character from Collateral for like 2 minutes, and it's like it's a freaking crazy ending. I think.
The puck gets thrown at the window, and then the doors open, and it turns into like a jet for a moment.
Yeah, they depressurize the restaurant. Only Christopher Landon, I think, could maybe pull this off.
Right, and at that point, like they don't make it like a laugh; they're taking it serious, and I guess it works. It's a choice, but like then from there, like she can see on her phone, like her kid is in trouble, and her not Rashida Jones' sister is in trouble. And so she like turns into a NASCAR driver and like just screeches on out of there, gets home before this guy breaks in and gets there. Like,
yeah, and if you're
down like a 50-story restaurant.
If you are the architect of the third largest city in America scandal, can you hire assassins that can deliver kill shots? These guys kill nobody. They shoot so many people, kill nobody.
I mean, the only people who die is Reed Diamond and the piano player, right? So
and the other assassin, like whatever you want to call it.
The bartender died too.
No, she survives.
Oh, she did.
Yes, of course Of course she survived.
We can't kill a woman of color in this. That would be absolutely off base. That would never ever happen. In Chicago, black women don't die in Chicago. What are you talking about? But yeah, so like Megan Fahey's Violet wins. She outsmarts two elite level CIA assassins and saves the day. It's believe me, I'm making fun of this movie, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You guys want to do any final comments before we get to ratings?
No, I don't think so.
Then let's pull up the old ratings video. Where do I stash that? Here it is. And as want to happen sometimes, I think we all rated this movie exactly the same. So let's mix it up. Let's start with Abby, who's in the middle. Abby, what do you think?
Great. Yeah, no, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very fun. I think one of the first things I thought walking out of the movie, if you're going to compare this to any movie that came out recently, I felt that it was very similar to like Trap, where it's like kind of goofy. It's ridiculous enough. If you can get on board with all of that, you'll have a really good time with it. And I think this one might be a little bit better than Trap. I don't know. I haven't seen Trap in a minute, but I like the characters. Again, it's just a really fun, ridiculous movie. I give it 4.
All right. I'll go next. I also rated this a 4. I just based on the strength of the characters alone, like this movie could have been absolute like overwrought dog shit. But like everything works. Like I can't even throw a dagger at this movie. Like I like it bell to bell, pretty much. Aaron?
Yeah, pretty much the same. 4 videotapes because we did all rate the same. And I do think like the camera work and just overall kind of, again, the patience of like kind of getting into the twists. And then when they did come, they came like it was almost like a fire hose, just like a lot at once. But it still ended up working really well. And I don't think there's a lot of other directors this would have worked as well with. Like it didn't need to be super serious. I think it was the right tone. It was a good time, and like it gets way off base by the end, but that's okay.
Yeah, and as an extra tip to avid moviegoers, go watch Warfare and Drop in the same day, and watch Warfare first. It makes Drop even that much better because it's like, holy shit, I needed that. Let's get to the Why We Love Horror Challenge. There we are. That is the website. You want to play along? We encourage it strongly. We're in the third of 4 weeks of like just picking people that show up in a lot of horror movies, and this week we were going to find a movie that is a non-franchise movie, and there's a lot of them, that Danielle Harris shows up in. So we ended on Aaron, so we'll go back to Aaron. What was your Danielle Harris movie this week?
This week I actually followed the prompt fully. So I did not pick Evil Bong 5 with Danielle Harris making an appearance, which she doesn't. I went with the town that dreaded sundown. Very good. It's pretty. I actually found out while watching it was basically a requel, not so much a remake. It was kind of a existing off of the original, so like it probably would have helped to watch the original going in. I didn't, but I still had a really good time with this. I think there's some really cool like split screen like scenes in this movie. De Palma or whoever your favorite split screen director is, but the twist is okay, and it's definitely a more than serviceable slasher, which would have helped if I watched the original before watching the remake. So probably took away a little bit of like the impact from it for me.
Let's move on to these other movies. I watched a movie that I hadn't even heard of, but Danielle Harris is in it, and Chad Michael Murray is in it. It's called Camp Coldbrook, and it sucks. It is. It's not a found footage movie, but it definitely has all the beats of a found footage movie. It is the 1 millionth movie I've watched where a group of paranormal investigators fuck around and find out, and it could not have been executed. Actually, I guess it could have been executed more poorly than this, but it was executed fairly poorly. Abby?
So I watched a movie called Natty Knox. This came out a couple of years ago, I think. I wouldn't really recommend it. I mean, I hadn't heard great things about this movie, but I just needed to pick. I wanted to pick something. I feel like it's a good premise, but nothing really happens for like any of the movie. Like people die, but nothing is memorable. They set the movie up for a sequel that's never gonna happen. I wouldn't recommend it.
And yeah, Robert Englund and Bill Moseley also in this movie. Just loving that paycheck. But that'll do it for this week. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. We do all our stuff there because, we're just, maybe we'll get other social media. Who the hell knows? Abby, you're up for that, I guess. Go to the Letterboxd challenge again. That's where all those prompts are. You can join in the fun anytime you want. Schedule here is changing, but getting better. Sunday, my daughter and 15,000 other small children will review a family or animated horror or horror adjacent movie on Why Liv Loves Horror. It's getting more and more suspect as weeks go by, but people seem to like it. The day after that, we will tape verses, and I will put it on the page. Feel free to fucking watch that if you want. I mean, it's probably great to go to sleep to, so put it on, go to sleep. Wednesday, Aaron's been covering the Evil Bong series on Aaron Unwinds, and the one that aired yesterday was great because, like, as I've gotten older, I've realized that more and more people are just slipping shit onto YouTube that shouldn't be there. The trailer for Evil Bong 2 is off the fucking wall R-rated, and I had to edit the shit out of that trailer so that I did not get hit with any kind of like perversion strikes or whatever on YouTube. So check it out just for the trailer, and it's a short video anyway, and Aaron seems to be having a good time doing it. Thursday is Why We Love Horror. You are watching it. And Friday, 2 episodes of Why We Love Horror Trivia, getting back into teams. But that'll do it. I'm John Mara, and that's Abby Brooks and Aaron Brooks, and we'll see you next week on Why We Love Horror. We're covering Sinners. I don't think we're not going to cover that.